Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Tom here today. And today, for this episode, I got you a Gmax Machamp team. This team is decent. It's not the best. It's definitely not competitive viable, so I wouldn't bring this to any tournament or anything. Um, but the idea is we're going to get Gmax Machamp, which I never see because Gmax Machamp kind of sucks. And Machamp as a whole is just a pretty lackluster Pokemon. So we're gonna set it up in Trick Room with Dusclops and Hatterene, and then we have some Trick Room sweepers, Machamp, Rhyperior, and Torkoal. And then the combination of Torkoal and Venusaur, it's a pretty good lead, especially since Venusaur can put people to sleep with Sleep Powder. Um, but this team is so hard to win and play. We're actually not going to be playing any live games today uh, because it's so hard. But we're going to take a different approach, and we're actually going to be watching some replays that when I was playing with this offline. So we're going to head into the first replay here, and in this replay here against my opponent, he has a Tyranitar, Excadrill, Togekiss, Hitmontop, um, Rotom Heat, and Milotic. And so what I was thinking here is I was scared of the Excadrill Tyranitar lead, so I went ahead and lead with the Torkoal and Venusaur. Um, So I led with Torkoal Venusaur, but instead of reading with Tyranitar Excadrill, he actually led with Togekiss and Hitmontop, which I was surprised about. I guess he was worried about my Machamp at the start. So he goes in and Dynamax his Hitmontop, while we actually catch a Fake Out from Torkoal, while we Sleep Powder and catch his Dynamax and put it to sleep. So this turn, I'm just gonna go for the next turn. I'm just gonna go for Eruption into Sludge Bomb into Togekiss. Or sorry, I mean switch to Dusclops and then Sludge Bomb into Togekiss. So he goes ahead and detects, which is fine. We're not even attacking with the Hitmontop. As I Sludge Bomb, getting Togekiss almost to 50%. And now we have Dusclops in here, and he's still asleep. So pretty much he's wasted his Dynamax. As he Sucker Punches us, as we go for a Energy Ball into Hitmontop, we'll get a crit, which is helpful. As Togekiss wakes up and Max Airstreams into Venusaur, taking us out, which is perfectly fine as Dusclops still has full HP, sets up Trick Room. And now we get a free switch under Trick Room into our Machamp. Boom. And then I just go for Gmax Machamp into um, Night Slash into Hitmontop as I Gmax and then Max Still Spike into Togekiss. Togekiss barely lives, but we didn't have our Guts ability activated yet. So he's definitely gonna die to pretty much anything next turn. The Togekisses. So we get burned. We get our Guts ability. So he goes for Follow Me. So I just do the same thing pretty much over again. Night Slash, but this time I'm just gonna go Max Chi Strike to get our bonus. As I knew he was already gonna die. So boom, we get our bonus, and now we have a higher crit ratio. So instead of 4%, it's I think it's like 8% now or something like that. So Milotic comes in here, and we just Nightshade, get rid of the Hitmontop with Dusclops, and then we Max Lightning into the Milotic, one-shot it, surprisingly. And at this point, he's just timer stalling me when we actually played the game. He's just timer stalling me. So now he sends out the Excadrill finally. And then I just ally switch into Brick Break. He doesn't even have a Focus Sash, so that's a win. I would have brought Tyranitar in that game in Rotom Heat instead of Hitmontop and Excadrill, but I'm not the opponent. So we're going to move to the second game. This one, he's got a Holucha, Indeedee, Holucha, Indeedee, Gengar, Togedemaru, Milotic again, and then the Conkeldurr. So knowing this, I went ahead and just led with Dusclops Machamp. I just went ahead and Dusclops Machamp. And I'm just going to Trick Room into Protect. So I'm going to Trick Room into Protect here. As he goes for Dynamax on his Gengar with Helping Hand, and he uses Max Phantasm onto Dusclops, just trying to just shut down Trick Room as fast as possible. but Dusclops lives on literally like 1 HP, and then he sets up Trick Room, which is all Dusclops was needed for, and we get a free burn. All right, so we got our Guts ability, so we come in here, and we just max Chi we move Mentos into the Gengar, having its attacks, and then we just max Chi, which is neutral, which almost one-shots D&D, as we get hit by a Psychic and a Max Phantasm. So we're a little bit less than 50% on HP in Machamp. But that's perfectly fine, as we bring in Torkoal here, and then we use Eruption, and then I max Steel Spike here, I believe, to get some defenses back. So now we're at -1 defense instead of -2. And then he brings out the Milotic with the Hulucha. And what happens here is I'm just going to max Thunder, max Lightning into Milotic and Erupt into Milotic and the Hulucha. And so the Milotic goes down again. Another offensive Milotic there, as he goes for Acrobatics, taking out Machamp. So we just switch in to the Rhyperior, and Torkoal just finishes off the game with Eruption because it did about 75% in the first hit. So voila, he's gone. And that was a pretty decent win on our part. The Machamp came in pretty helpful as it got a crit on the Milotic, killing it with the Max Lightning, which could have destroyed the Torkoal and Rhyperior in that game. So this is the third game here. And he's got Raichu, Gastrodon, Gengar. He's got the Grimmsnarl, Alcremie, and Arcanine. And so looking at this team, I need to set up Trick Room as pretty much as fast as possible. So I go Hatterene and Machamp here, as he goes for Raichu and the Gengar. So I just go ahead and Protect again with Machamp, as he goes for Fake Out on Machamp, and then he goes for Sludge Bomb on Hatterene. Hatterene barely lives and gets Trick Room up. So I've seen a lot of Gengars and Milotics, like when I was playing these, which pretty much destroys this team. So we go for Mystic Fire on Gengar, dropping its special attack by 1 stage, as we just max Chi-Strike, into Raichu, and he had a Focus Sash, so he lives. As he goes for Thunderbolt and Sludge Bomb into Machamp, which took about 17%. So here, I'm just going to Life Dew, heal up the Machamp a little bit more, heal up Hatterene, and then I just go for a Max Steel Spike into the Gengar, taking it out. So the Gengar drops, and he thunders into the Machamp, taking only about 16%. So Raichu's at 1 HP, and so knowing this, I just went for Psychic on Gastrodon with a... I believe I used Max G-Strike to get the bonus. And so Gastrodon is less than 50%, about 25% HP, and Raichu's still in 1. So Hatterene goes down, which is okay for us. Hatterene did its job, setting up Trick Room. We got 2 turns left in Trick Room here, so I send in Torkoal, and I just go for a Solar Beam into Gastrodon as it protects, and then a Bullet Punch into Raichu, just to get rid of it. So I still go with Solar Beam, and it misses because of the Protect. And then his last Pokemon is Arcanine, so he sends out his Arcanine. So knowing this, I just went ahead and did Solar Beam again, as he Max Darkness is into Torkoal, doing about 32%, dropping our special defense. So I just Brick Break into Arcanine, get a crit, which is what the ability is for, and we survive the Scald as I Solar Beam into Gastrodon, taking that out. And now it's Torkoal Machamp versus Arcanine, with Rhyperior in the back in this game, I believe. So he goes for Max Flare, takes out the Machamp, which is okay, as we go for Clear Smog, just to make sure he doesn't get any stat boosts. And then we bring in the Rhyperior here, and we just Rock Slide into High Horsepower, and the Arcanine goes down, as we get our Weakness Policy because he used Max Knuckle. And then we take out the Arcanine with +1 attack. And voila. But yeah, overall, this team Would not recommend using for even mid advanced players. Uh, this is definitely an advanced team if you want to even use it to be functional. Um, it's not very well balanced as it gets destroyed by Gengars. Machamp somehow can break through Milotics, which is very interesting. But as you saw, it doesn't break through Togekiss. If there's any Laprases, I found a bunch of them. I just get destroyed by Lapras. And Perish Trap gets destroyed. I get destroyed by Perish Trap. The Dragapult also destroys this team. So overall, pretty bad team. But it was pretty funny because all my opponents at the end of the game rage quit, or they typed in chat raging. So it was just a fun team. Got this really bad Pokemon to actually get some wins. So that was interesting. If you want a challenge, definitely suggest this team.